just coming back from the heels of Ultimania. Congratulations, Viatorius. We'll see you tomorrow for the finals. But now it's time for us to go back to Megaman ZX Advent.
There we go. I found it.
Dang it, I hit circle instead of X.
I mean, I never lost it in the first place.
Ah, man, I have the freaking Nintendo brain.
Nintendo! Gotta love Nintendo, am I right? Them and not making their older content available.
That's like one of my favorite tweets regarding Nintendo. Hey Nintendo, if you don't want me to pirate your games, let me buy them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're in.
We're in.
Not again. It looks like this isn't it either. I was hoping we'd find it on the first try and show it off to the guys back at Hunter's Camp.
And if at first you don't succeed, get good.
Hey, there's something in there.
I'm loading something up on my phone right now, so go ahead and watch the intro cutscene for Vent.
Okay. Von Royen's Leaper. Von Royen's Leaper, that's what it's called.
What's it doing here?
That's what I'm building. I'm building Von Royen's Leaper. It's a type of lictor.
If you trip the security, we'll have
It's a spoopy, springy, jumpy bug. You gotta love the just straight up Star Wars guns noises. Whoa, I have hands.
What the? What happened? Where am I? Who am I? Oh, I can't remember anything. Who are you?
I am Pandora. Gray, I'm here to dispose of you.
Alright, got my soup and
Is that my
meatballs.
name? What do you mean, dispose of me?
We're watching a cutscene while Zero's hurrying to get some stuff.
Megaman. But
Let's
you
see.
were awakened.
Yeah, I've decided to
Control
set up,
sequence
just pull
was
up the
completed.
walkthrough because I just
Megaman?
decided to say screw it. I'm just gonna
Mind
go
control?
ahead and do
What have you done to me?
the side quest while I have the chance.
There's no shame in doing a walkthrough to make streaming a little smoother.
Defectives must be disposed of.
And by the way, you get to see
I don't
alternate
think this guy
timeline
really
where
needs
if I
weapon
chose
anymore.
the male character instead of the female character.
Fun.
Where we get more stellar voice acting.
Why did she call me defective? Anyway, I have to find a way out of here before they kill me.
By the way, yeah, let me go ahead and state this for the record. I now prefer playing as the female, the female character
Ash.
for Ash, because she says booty a lot.
Shit. Hard to argue with that logic. Hard.
It's like, I'm gonna find that booty.
It's like, it's a girl with priorities, at least.
Okay, so let's see where the...
So yeah, I'm building... Show you guys what I'm building. It's kind of neat. One of these things I want to do sometime for my stream, if we do a Warhammer lore stream.
A Warhammer lore.
It's something I've been promising to do at some point. I know Aiden wants in.
Say,
But one of the things I want to do is I want to maybe set up a tiny cam that I can put in the corner so I can maybe build models and show people some of that when we're jibber jabbering about Whammerhammer.
Okay.
fuck.
Now, it's time to do some side quests. First side quest, find the model train.
I spilled meatball sauce all over my hands. I'll be here.
Oh no.
Got meatballed. Alright, I'll put in voice text the thing I'm building, just if anyone's curious for context. No need if you're not.
Yep, but now it's time to find the
So-
model train.
So Brave, are the two bikes and the Common Riders like operational machines, or are they props?
What'd you say?
Are the two bikes and the Common Rider thing you posted like actual functional bikes then?
Yeah, they're both like actual functional vehicles that were built for the show.
That's awesome.
Oh, good thing
Yeah.
about being in my apartment is my bathroom is 5 feet away from where I sit, so it didn't take that long to wash my hands.
Nice little
You
studio.
say you want a model train? I have one of those, but I know.
Kit, there's a thing you need to see immediately.
Uh-oh. What's that
Zero
thing?
also needs to see this.
Uh-oh.
It's in voice text.
Mute!
You say you want a model train? I have
That's
one of those,
supposed to be a
but I know if
fox
you
or
can give me
wolf?
some pudding, I'll trade with you. Okay, so I need to find some pudding.
It's the
Pudding.
It's the Geets Kemi.
You're on a pudding quest? You can't fault pudding, I suppose. I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm actually trying to figure out how to paint my Tyranids because I think I want to paint them like. Kind of want to paint them like wasps. That sounds hard.
Okay. So
Yes, that's
you
a
say-
cute.
in voice text. Let's see.
It's so cute.
There's the Tyranids and Daw! Geet. Adorable Geets Fox.
It's the
He's very
Geets
cute.
Kemi. It's gonna be in the Gotchard movie. It's great.
I do think that'll be fun to see.
Okay.
We won't be able to watch it until it comes out on Blu-ray in Japan, though, which will be like several months after it comes out in theaters at the end of December. I'll probably be able to watch it till like June.
Okay.
Yes,
get
how
the book,
do.
Go back to Hunter's Camp 4. Okay. No, Owl. Owl. I want the model train. I have to get you pudding. Let me go and get you pudding.
I love it if you actually try to sit and explain a lot of fetch quests in video games, how hilariously like dumb it sounds to try and explain. Oh yeah, I have to get pudding so I can get a model train so I can get a rocket to Mars. I don't know.
Oh, where's Han? Must be European if it's summer or Asian. Somewhere in Europe or Asia.
I already have an E-tank. It seems
The world
that
is in dire peril. We need pudding, man.
It seems the rare mechanolloid can be found in the oil fields. With all the reporters and press everywhere, it's practically impossible to get into that area. Besides, I can't go out there. Everybody knows the oil fields are too dangerous. If I can only put the location of the mechanolloid remains, I can send some guys in.
That's the thing with open world games, man. Like the world, you or the world will be in mortal danger, and somehow you have time to go dick around somewhere.
Yeah. It's sort of like,
Yeah.
well, it's the last day for Sephiroth's meteor descend. I guess I better go spend countless hours screwing around at the gold saucer.
Yeah.
What happened?
Like, it's like-
Towards Central Tower is not back yet. Well, you're just in time. The hunters went to pick up the chandelier, haven't gone back yet. Would you mind looking for them? I'll make sure you're well compensated. You accepted.
Now you're after a chandelier?
They should be one of the rooms in the control tower. Be careful. Hello, nice to
Like
meet
it's an unavoidable problem with open world games, right? Because if you want to have both, you can't really have an interesting narrative without some sort of stake. But oftentimes those stakes like conflict with the gameplay, and that's just the inherent problem often with open world games.
Well, because you want to give people the freedom to
I think
To-
yeah, because sorry.
well, just to take the pacing as they will, and take
Yeah.
the quests they will, and go to the places they find interesting. But it does kind of kill urgency.
Yeah, because you want to give your players dick around time, but that dick around time conflicts with the narrative, so it's sort of a catch-22. Like I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077. I'm not gonna say anything because you guys might want to play that game, but
Oh, okay.
that game definitely suffers from the "you really shouldn't be dicking around, but you are anyways" thing.
Yeah. Why is this guy's tail so hard to file?
Yeah, it was saying go to Hunter Blaze 4, but it says to actually check the fridge. Yes, there's pudding in this fridge. Hey, Nick, I hope you don't mind if I help myself to this pudding.
Ah, you can have the pudding, but you have to first help me find my car keys.
You must buy fantasy flan.
Hmm.
Jeez, that's
All
one
right,
of the...
I'm gonna mute for a second because I'm gonna be eating soup and it might be loud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, now I'm remembering freaking that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where the guy hypnotizes people into eating freaking flan all day.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Still think I still sometimes, I don't know why it came around this last Halloween, but they had one of my favorite Courage the Cowardly Dogs with the mummy. Return the slab or suffer my curse.
I remember that.
What's your offer?
Yeah. Do we have a deal? Good, you got me some pudding. You got handed over pudding. Pudding! It's pudding! Pudding, pudding! Thank you. Here's your model train. You got a model train. I just love pudding.
I like this guy. That is the correct response to pudding.
Big, like, crustacean monster?
Yeah.
The one I'm building.
Yeah?
It's a von Royen's leaper. It's a type of sneaky vanguard organism for the Tyranid hives.
Looks very, like, mollusk-esque, actually, now I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Jark has been looking for this rare model train called the Brainy Express for a long time. Time to
Yeah,
get this-
Tyranids are definitely bug-like, but they have a lot of different traits because they grow organisms for their invasions. They don't have real weapons. They'll just graft weapons onto, like biological weapons onto whatever organisms they need for an invasion.
Oh, you found the model train?
It's kinda creepy.
Come on, show me, show me. Hand it over to model train. Yep, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Just looking at it takes me back to my childhood. Thank you. This is for your trouble. You got 300 energy crystals. I think I'll have it set up on the shelf in that big room. Okay. Spruce up the room. Let's see here.
Yeah, the Tyranids are definitely a intimidating faction. You do not want them to decide your world is edible. There's a lot of factions in Warhammer you wouldn't want to face, but if I had to pick, like, the worst, it would probably be Dark Eldar. But Tyranids would definitely be close.
Head over to all the rooms Head over to all the rooms. Spruce up the room. Head over to the room with all the stairs in Legion HQ 1.
I've got the Space Marine video game. I've had that pre-order for a long while now. And that is a game in which the Tyranids are your main foe early on, looks like. Funny story about the Tyranids. I don't know if you know this, but StarCraft, around the time StarCraft was made, Blizzard was actually going to do a licensed Warhammer 40,000 video game, and it kind of fell through. And Blizzard ended up creating the Zerg for StarCraft. And when Games Workshop later that year released some of their revamped plastic Tyranid models, Blizzard actually tried to take them to court. But then really early on, Games Workshop produced a bunch of sketches and history showing that they had invented the Tyranids years before. And so Blizzard's like, oh, never mind, and let the lawsuit go. And they're lucky that Games Workshop back then was a lot less litigious, because they could have counterclaimed if they wanted to, but they let it go.
I'm trying to... Yeah, it says, like, select one potted plant. I can only choose one potted plant at a time. Which one should I take? Should I get them, like, the one I found there? Or...
You know what's funny? Some of the Tyranid designs I feel would actually fit in with some of the kaiju from Ultraman.
A little bit, I guess. Yeah, this Bazanga kind of fits that aesthetic, I suppose.
I could see a few of them, you know? Like, especially like Carnifexes, those come to mind.
Okay, yeah, I've already
I think Bazanga's been my favorite Blazar monster.
I'm trying to think which one was, trying to remember which... Yeah, I really like Bazanga too, but I'm trying to think about which specific one.
The flying one was pretty cool, but I can't remember its name.
You know what my favorite one actually is? I can't believe I'm breaking on the name. It's the one the children made, actually.
Oh yeah, the blobby guy.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Because it's nice. Because it's very cute and funny. It's very cute and funny looking.
Yeah, there's kind of a surreal appeal. I like cute things.
I do too.
The weirdest that made me think of the weirdest episode of X that I kind of loved, even though it had really awkward ending, was that they had this weird creature called Mew that Brave ended up telling me is based on a real dog that they have as an Easter egg in a bunch of them. And it was the most bizarre episode because the monster is actually in love with X. And it's I can't even explain the design, but it's like this weird cat-faced goblin thing. It was like a poofy body.
Look at this model train.
Ooh, he's big. You know what's weird is, as far as I can tell, and I'm far from the expert. You know, I'm still relatively new to it. Rube, I don't think has had like any original monsters.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, depending on the plant you choose, you get that kind of amount of energy crystals. I just chose this plant as it's the first one because I still complete the mission.
Oh, okay.
Plus, this is a reference to Mega Man Zero. So let's see what the next one is.
And maybe you can correct me on that, Brave, but
Help the Lost Hunters.
I haven't seen any original monsters in Rube yet.
I don't think Rube had any, except for like toward the end.
Central Control Area 3.
I mean, they probably got a final boss. They probably got some kind of final boss critter.
Oh yeah, they got a neat final boss monster. And Mysterious Girl transforms into some original monsters, but like about it, I think. Right?
I will say
So-
one thing I like about it. I do kind of like the humor.
Alright, I finished my soup. I'm back.
Woo.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about monsters in media, because I shared a model I'm building that is it's a Tyranid critter, and we ended up talking about how it would fit in with some of those Ultraman monsters. Yeah,
Cool.
maybe a little bit. One thing that I do find interesting about some sci-fi is the notion of like something so alien that even its existence is kind of disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tyranids are definitely super alien. They don't use technology. They're a hive mind that will just grow invasion organisms for different purposes and graft biological weapons onto them. And they'll just eat planets. They'll descend on them and strip them of biomass.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they're not good, but the scariest part is that in Warhammer, the main way species travel faster than light is to duck into a dimension that's kind of tied to ours called the warp. But it's not a nice place. The warp is like a emotional echo, an immaterial echo of our universe, where these entities that they refer to as the Dark Gods of Chaos live, based on the feelings of psychic species, their impulses and their psyches, and the excesses therein.
I have a feeling that this influenced Hero Thieves.
It kind of did. It did, except in mine, the implications of being psychic are a lot less spooky.
Uh-huh.
In 40k, being psychic is actually kind of a nightmare, because if you let your guard down, there will be like literal demon things that will like try to claw their way into reality through your body. Like, it's definitely not an enviable thing being psychic in 40k.
Mm-hmm.
but it did sort of inspire some of the things there. But in the warp, a psychic mind can have what they call like a warp presence, where you can kind of like exert some level of control over this immaterium.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're really accomplished, you can use it, channel it to do things like shoot lightning or like melt people's brains that you don't like. But you're always at risk of the warp like leaking into you, basically. The Tyranids, however, because they're such a massive hive mind, they are just a colossal consciousness spread across trillions and trillions of organisms. They have this thing called the shadow in the warp, where their warp presence is so massive that it actually drowns out other warp presences. When the Tyranids enter your solar system, a lot of the Psychers will just go insane because of the overwhelming presence of it. So the scariest thing about the Tyranids isn't just that they'll eat you, it's that the fact that like you will be filled with such utter dread.
Where did you share them? Sorry. Oh, this guy?
Yeah, just above the cute fox guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these guys.
Yep.
These guys are the hive mind guys.
Yep.
I see.
I should do a Warhammer lore stream because there's a lot of out of context little things that take elaborating on, and maybe some visual aids.
You're in the room, yelled at me.
And I won't be ashamed to admit this. The niche things that Brave knows about, like Ultraman and Kamen Rider, is very much how I am with 40k.
Yeah, and I know
Cryptic.
a bunch of random shit about 14 lore.
Well, it's the thing about 40k is that Final Fantasy 14 is, several years old. 40k has been doing cryptic lore since like the 80s.
Hmm.
So there's a lot to unpack.
Oh. How long would... It's a little difficult to measure something like that because it's like a game that's running in real time versus... Because 40k is a board game, right? And
It is,
lore
yeah, it's a
only
tabletop
comes out
property, yeah.
per board game. So I don't know.
Well, there've been
It's
lots
hard-
of novels. There've been lots of novels, like 40k novels, and supplementary media like video games and
There's been stuff like that for
occasional movie.
14 too, but definitely not as much as 40k considering just the age difference.
Yeah.
There's like 2 encyclopedias and like 1 more incoming actually for the 14.
Well, and 14 has some super impressive lore. I will admit, from everything I've gathered so far.
You've barely scratched the surface.
Oh, they changed.
You've gone to like what, level 5? I think you.
Well,
were,
yeah,
you were
but
at
like
one
I was
point
reading
or
about,
something.
Oh,
but I was reading about like the deities and stuff.
In the guide it says to the old mechanaloid, but in the game it says to mechanaloid remains.
I have a question for you, Kit.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll eventually be able to fight the deities?
I'm sorry, I missed part of that. Do I think what?
Do you think and want to fight the deities? Do you think you will fight the deities, or do you want?
I do think that's definitely seems in the cards. And I do think it'd be interesting to.
I'm not going to
see.
I'm not going to say anything whether it happens or not.
Well, the fact that they refer to the celestial bodies as having things to do with some of the deities, and the fact that they've actually got like personalities and stuff, and makes me inclined to think that they're going to be very directly involved at some juncture.
Don't want to say anything. Because remember how I stopped the patch early? 6 point... Oh wait, no, that's going to reveal.
Very right.
I'm just going to say the most recent patch dealt with them in some capacity. Unless you want me to say how it dealt with them, unless you're fine with me spoiling that.
I think I'd rather wait on that a little bit.
Okay.
Fingers kind of hinted at it. Fingers kind of hinted at some pretty heavy changes, but
yeah, they are at least they are a significant portion of the latest 10, something involving them. I will say that.
Okay.
I'm not going to say any more. Although I guess I guess it is a fantasy game, so maybe trying to hide it is moot. But
So, interesting thing about
everybody
the
knows.
Oh wow!
Sorry,
This,
what are you gonna?
that's an
what
Easter
did you
egg,
say?
all right. That's
Yeah,
an Easter
this-
egg, all right.
yeah, this is a this is from Mega Man X.
What is that?
You know
Oh.
the giants. You know the giant sea snake monsters from Launch Octopus's stage.
No, but I trust you. They exist.
Yeah, this is them.
They do. Yep.
Cool.
Which is interesting because that hints that that's where you are, is where Launch Octopus's base might have been once.
Well. Wow.
Wow.
Continuity.
You know the other cool thing about the background in places like this, like the desert level, where it's got like the little wavy heat effect?
Mhm.
The way they accomplished that in early consoles was like staggering. Like in the original Sonic, you didn't see this in the US version of the first game, but they had a distortion effect underwater where it would kind of wave like that. And the way they had to do it with old coding was mind-boggling. Like by the time they got to this era, the DS, it was probably the kind of thing that they could just use as like a layer effect. But in the old days,
Okay.
they actually had to programmatically shift pixels as the scan line was moving up the screen. And then the way they did it in Sonic, the way they discolored the pixels, even though you had a very limited color palette, was that they would dynamically switch the color palette based on where the scan line was on the screen. Serious programming voodoo in some of these old games.
Yeah.
Thank you. My guys just got back with the mechanoid remains. The announced results indicate that this mechanoid is very, very old. Most likely those oil fields are all that's left of a dried up ancient sea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, the hunters brought back this. I don't have any use for it, but I'll give it to you. You got a frog.
A frog?
It's the name of a item. It's a name of a chip. Reduces the speed of sliding down walls. It would be kind of silly if I just got a frog. That would just be silly.
I didn't question it, honestly. I was just like, oh yeah, frog. Makes sense.
Slippy, stop licking the walls. The paint's made of lead. Okay.
What? Who paints with lead anymore?
So
It's a Sonic for Hire joke. I don't know.
I will say, Kit, your prediction does make sense when you consider every single Final Fantasy game. Or just JRPGs in general, they do like making you kill God, don't they?
There's a lot of kill God narratives. Yes.
Find the bird camera.
Like FF6.
Oh, so we have to find. Oh, so we have to find. So we have to find Miller then.
Doesn't Sephiroth become a god?
It's his intention.
I haven't.
Yeah, that's his intention. He
haven't
wants
played.
to absorb. He wants to absorb the life stream, and into himself, and become some form of god. Yes.
Okay, I have to go to the very top of the.
I haven't actually played 7, so
I have to go to the very top of Control Center 3.
I do not know.
7 is an interesting game because it like I wouldn't say it's objectively like the best Final Fantasy game, but it's memorable. It's one of the most well remembered for a reason, and that's because it was one of the first games of that scale to actually tell an emotionally resonant story and make people like stop and think about shit.
I mean, 6 has fit that category so far, though.
6 does have
Yeah,
a
in my
phenomenal
opinion.
story. I do think that the gameplay suffers compared to some Final Fantasies.
Yeah, that's true. It's not as good. The combat doesn't feel as good as it does in 5. That's for sure. 5, I thought, was sort of the perfection of that era of Final Fantasy gameplay.
It's definitely the best of the classic job games, I would say.
Yeah, I love
I mean,
how
there's
this
only
guy
two
says-
classic job games.
I love how
There's
this
only
guy
3 in.
says, in order to do this, transform into Model H, knowing that, yeah, you're not going to remember the character's name. You're just going to think, oh, this is Model H.
Yeah. I just hope you found a guide that wasn't goddamn ASCII.
ASCII. You
We even
mean type out as if it was written on a text document?
Yeah, like
Game
like
facts?
like 1990s walkthroughs that use like hyphens as long strings of hyphens or equal signs as separators.
That's exactly what I'm using.
I see.
The power of game facts, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess some formats stick around, some last the test of time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
since those are the
but
ones
there
that
are
I'm
some-
used to.
Oh, sorry.
I miss
And
the
there
era
are also
of.
some-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There are also some really annoying sticks that just insta-kill you, and there's not really much you can do about it.
Yeah.
It like in 5, it feels like there's a lot more you can do to avoid insta-kill stuff like that, like specific classes you can pick. 6, and in 6, it kind of just feels like, oh nope, this enemy insta-kills you. If you're not a magic class, you can't pick if you're, and you can't. I mean, you have Espers, but I feel like Terra has a higher resistance against magic than other characters.
Yeah, the Espers were an attempt, I think, to give you some level of customization and everything, but there are some characters that are still just useless, or some that are just really overpowered. Like they are not incredibly well balanced.
Like the king, what's his name, feels incredibly overpowered too.
Oh, Edgar, yeah.
Edgar. I named him to something else, but
Yeah, King Edgar, he's the dude with all the weapons, right?
Yep.
he's a machinist, yeah. And I realize now that that's where the name of the machinist weapons come from in 14, because you basically just get everything that a 14 machinist has.
Bro gets a huge ass power. Bro gets a huge ass power bill at one point.
Yeah. You get that in 14 too. You get the chainsaw, you get the auto crossbow, you get all that shit in 14. If you pick machinist. Machinist is actually one of my favorite jobs.
I actually
It's
was
one
going
of the side jobs I pick.
That's actually that job was actually like that is one I'm super interested in as well. I ended up going summoner, but I think machinist is one I would unfortunately the two I wanted to do the most were.
Oh, we're not part of the free trial.
Yeah, well, not, or at least not for a while. Like, you don't get Dancer and Gunbreaker for. I hear they're not early game things.
No, and you would need to pay for the game to get them anyways. That might change at some point, especially once Shadowbringers is added to the free trial. Although once Shadowbringers, that would be a hell of a thing to have in free trial, honestly. Shadowbringers. That's a hell of an addition, that one.
Uh-oh. Hang on.
That's also the one with a bajillion FF8 references. Zeronian might that one.
Oh, which one are you talking about specifically?
Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers expansion is filled with FF8 references.
Oh, which one is your which one in there was your favorite thing, and I can tell you about it.
What do you mean?
Because I don't know the references in FF14. I've only played like Final Fantasy.
Well, it's mostly a lot of bosses and music that are, and Gunbreaker. The Gunbreaker is a reference to FF8.
Yeah, you get Gunblade. Your Gunblades. It's Gunblade Specialist is what a Gunbreaker is.
It's a class called Gunbreaker in 14.
That has a Gunblade.
It's a class. Yeah, it uses a Gunblade. And it's
Can I try that
one
class?
of the only if you pay for the.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's locked. It's not part of the free trial.
Gunbreaker and Dancer were the ones that I wanted to rock.
Yeah, those are both unfortunately ones that you would have to pay for the game for, and play a decent amount of the way into the game as well.
That's what Ark was telling me.
Okay, so find a present from
Gunblades are without a doubt one of the stupidest things invented in Final Fantasy, and I adore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. So let me,
I actually
so which is
on my one of my alts. I'm a gunbreaker. I use gunbreaker as my main tank. I actually have an alt character based off of Leia. As far as you base a character off of a cat, it's Mikote, obviously, because I couldn't make it an Anthro cat, unfortunately. But
Yeah. Hey, did we lose Brave or?
No.
I thought I just heard them talk. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I worry because I know earlier sometimes you say the audio cuts out, so I always sorry to bug you.
It's okay.
I've already got flowers previously, so I'm just gonna hand the 2 over to her, which gives me the reward for it. Oh, wait a minute, what does she want?
Oh,
no,
the
what
machinist-
did I do?
Oh, sorry.
My little
Oh, you're good.
I was going to say that surprisingly, Gunbreaker doesn't have that many references to the junctioning system, except for in its PvP variant. Then it references the junction system.
What I think is cool about
You
Gunbreaker in
junction other
14,
players. It's very funny.
I like that. The cool thing about Gunbreaker when I was reading about it is that when you use your Gunblade, you can actually put like elemental shells in the chamber, and then you
Yeah,
can like
that's what
rotate
it
your
is.
chamber, and
Well, you
and
know-
to use different elemental effects.
I wouldn't describe it as that. You can use it for either an AOE skill or as your it gives you a combo. It's a
Because I know
little
there's like a heat gauge or whatever, or is that or not the heat gauge?
the heat gauge is not a gunbreaker.
No, I know I mixed the terms up. I was thinking of machinist as you were talking about machinist a second ago.
Oh, thank you so much. Look, I made Mommy's grave pretty while you were gone. I lost my mommy to
Machinist is
Mavericks in the desert
Um,
when I was 2. She's in
Yeesh.
heaven now.
Oof.
But I know
Oh.
that she'll like the flowers the hunter picked, right, Daddy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these are
Kids
you.
really don't say things in the most sensitive way, do they?
These E-crystals are from Daddy, and this chip is from me. You handed over Lily. You got 200 energy crystals. You got Eraser.
You got mildly traumatized.
Yep. This gives saber weapons the power to destroy energy shots from minor enemies.
Oh, that's a super useful chip.
Yeah, those are useful, except for the fact that the main form of Model A doesn't use sabers. I'd have to switch to Model ZX.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say that machinist is such a funny class, man. It's kind of like even in FF6, it feels so silly. Like you just have all these magic guys, and you just come with a fucking chainsaw, or or a giant drill, like it mentions.
Okay, so go to Hunter's Camp 3.
So
What a class.
Already here.
why is this? My plastic glue bottle is killing me. I think there's a jam in the little dispenser. It's driving me nuts. And then I got to go dinner in a second, so I'm just behind on everything today.
Okay.
That is
It's
true.
time
We
to
might
play a
need to
mini
stop.
game.
If Cerrone needs to go, we might have to stop the stream soon.
Ooh, mini games.
Mini
Good, you
game?
get to catch a burb. Or impale it, I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
At level 15, you get access to a certain something called the gold saucer, which you might,
gold what?
the gold saucer, which you might
Ooh.
remember,
Yeah.
where you can play mini games.
Excellent.
You'll be able to do the Fall Guys event. I do that.
Oh god.
Good luck with that.
Oh, no.
And you have access to all mini games once you reach level 15, and there's a few things like platforming challenges and what have you. Oh, and Chocobo racing, though no one ever does. Unfortunately, the queues are never really filled for that.
Oh, I
nobody
love
else-
Chocobo racing in theory.
I think you can do it against CPUs. I'm not one. I haven't really tried it.
Final Fantasy VII was the first one where you could do Chocobo racing.
Yeah.
You know, I was really sad that the Chocobo racing game ended up being such a flop.
there was a Chocobo racing game? I actually didn't know about that.
Chocobo GP, I think they called it.
Oh yeah,
And
they,
It was bad.
I remember a recent version of that game being released, but it was full of microtransactions, so no one bought it.
Yeah, it was. They were trying to. They made it so it was very like pay to win. It was very like pushing skins and expansions and really bare bones if you didn't pay anything.
I mean, it's such a company, man. They can make some of the most ass decisions while also making games like 14 that are actually pretty solid and not super abusive towards your money.
Well, and it's
I
different
think
if it wasn't like
mainly
pushing. If it
because-
wasn't pushing it quite as badly as it was. It'd be different if it wasn't like making it difficult to play without.
Well, that's what I'm
Participating.
saying is that 14 doesn't do that, right? Like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
can play to level 70 free. That's huge. And
Well,
I
it's
think
very
it's
generous.
it's probably just because they kind of let the 14 devs do whatever they want. Because they're too scared to touch it. 14 is like the majority of their revenue nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're probably just afraid that if the executives are afraid that if they meddle, then they might fuck everything up and then lose a ton of money. You know,
Yeah.
so they're they're not being meddlesome right now.
Okay. Well, this thing's broken, and I gotta figure dinner out. So I'm probably gonna
Okay,
go do that for a
it's
bit.
probably time to end the stream anyways. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's been. Yeah, let me try and finish. Let me try to finish the. Let me at least finish the biolab
Okay.
first, because there it is. Because that's
And what
the last-
time?
That's the last side quest I have access to. But
Well, what time are you going again tomorrow? By the way, sorry,
same time.
same time.
So it'll be 2:00 my time, and it'll be 2:00 my time.
Oh, before you go, Kit, if I wanted
Oh.
to get one of the things from Lanlo, how would I do that?
Oh, just you can DM him. He's pretty open with slots right now. I think he's
How much does he make you pay for? How much does he ask for payment?
depending on whether you want like NSFW alts or outfit alts, around like $25. They're pretty
Oh,
straight.
that's cheap.
They're quite
pretty good.
they're quite affordable.
That's pretty good for the quality. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're a good deal.
I'll say that Kit sent me to you to get a rep.
No, that'll
I
be.
want to get them. I want to get them for the Rox Benjamin, the Leia's, the heirs, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me know how that goes if you go that route.
Okay.
All right, you guys have a good evening.
Yeah,
Good
good
evening.
night.
Have a good one.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Boy. Oh, Hedgehoggy. I love look at the way the guy runs. I adore the way that guy runs. Just flip flop, flip flop. All right, boy.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, I guess you guys will be seeing Kit later tonight. Because you guys are watching the show. Because it's like your Saturday routine.
Yep.
Dang it.
Cool. I don't know why I don't like watching shows anymore. It was like the only thing I did in elementary school
Got the pendant.
until I was like 9. And then once I turned 9, Minecraft came out. And after that, shows never hit the same for some reason. 'Cause when I turned
Minecraft
9
came out in 2008.
No, 2011 is when 2011 is when the release came out. The alphas and betas came out between 2000 and 2011.
Yeah.
But the actual release is when it became like an actual. It was when the finished game came out and when I became
Mhm.
aware of it.
That's fair.
Because I was too young to be aware of it. You know, when I was.
Find the pendant.
I was too young to be aware of it when I was in alpha beta stages. Because I think at that point you would have to actually more actively look for it. But yeah, I played it since 2011. And I was obsessed to it, and I was obsessed with it for years. Just doing stupid shit. I used to play like faction servers, and I was like super bad, and always got my stuff stolen, but I still played it Now looking back, people were like even more toxic than they are nowadays.
Yep.
In that era. I think 2011, 2013, 2013. I definitely feel like standards for how you act in games have gotten more strict since back then. Though they're still idiots.
Okay. Let's go ahead and save.
Alright. Well, good. See you guys tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tomorrow I plan to play more. Tomorrow, if we all have time, I plan to play more more Paper Mario.
Okay. That's good.
But there is one thing I do want to check real quick because there's something I need to. There's one last thing because I have one quest left here. Eliminate 50 Chabanos. Let me find that real quick. Because there is a specific thing about this quest. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chabanos are located in multiple different areas of the game, and I would have to search around to find them all. I am 100% just going to be doing this off screen because it would take off streamed because this is going to take a while, but it's the only way for me to get the extender chip.
Okay.
The extender chip being the thing that increases my iframes whenever I take damage.
Sounds good.
So, with that out of the way, thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for joining us for this stream. I have to get ready because in about 20 minutes I have to head out to get Taco Bell.
I see.
So, thank you all for joining us on this stream, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, see you guys later, I guess, or tomorrow.
Yep. Goodbye.
Have you already ended the stream?